All right, this week I wanted to release a quick video in response to the last video. It's kind of funny because for the last video, I really wanted to say something specifically about the four worlds, and I didn't end up saying it. So the four worlds of Kabbalah. And so the students of the Kabbalah Magic Book, what you're working up to is a way of experiencing all four worlds of the Kabbalah at once. Okay, like, spiritual world, material world together all at the same time. And in Kabbalah, it is the world of Asiya. Well, okay, supposedly the world at the bottom where we all live is Asiya. And then the next higher world is Yetzirah. And then the next higher world up from that is Beriah. And the highest world is Atziluth. Okay. And the way that these are laid out on the tree, usually, at least for the student in the outer order, is that they are layered one on top of the other. So we start in Asiya and we work our way up through to Yetzirah, to Beriah, and then eventually Atziluth, where we have complete enlightenment and the spiritual plane of existence. And what we eventually uncover in the grade work is that all of these levels of existence are present right now, and we can experience them as we're walking down the street. So in order to show you this, I just want to present the idea of form versus substance. All right, and the main thing to grasp when it comes to the difference between form and substance is uh, the transformation of the word of Beriah into Yetzirah. All right, so let's go on a little journey up the tree first. So if you're doing the Kabbalah magic work, which is like the outer order curriculum of the Golden Dawn, you start in Asiya, the lowest level, and you move up to Yetzirah, up to Beriah, and up to Atziluth. And by the time you reach the highest levels of Yetzirah, supposedly, you are an adept. There's something you can do at that level that makes you a wizard, a magician, right? And some people say it's the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel, or things like that, or it's the Adeptus Minor initiation. All right, so let's explore how that works. So in the Zalater grade, which is the grade of Earth, the daily work involves visualizing just the physical body, and there's work done with the body in that grade that is called proprioception, or simply observing the body, the sensations of the body, how the body feels, how the body sits in the chair, how it how the feet feel while they're walking. Okay, all these sensations. Lots of that going on in Asiya. Also in Asiya, there's the sense of identifying with the physical body. So you identify with this thing that sort of can be kicked around by life. You identify with what it's like to be a physical object in the world. And this is mainly the problem that we experience as unenlightened beings, that we think we're nothing more than just the physical objects, and we then treat other people as though they are nothing but physical objects. We objectify them, right? Not sensing or not believing in or not perceiving the deeper dimension that connects them to the higher worlds. Okay, in other words, we are all one. We are not separate physical objects, but the problem is that we have lost the ability to recognize that we are all part of the same thing. Okay, most of us have anyway. Some people are born having still retaining the obvious sensation that we are all part of the same thing. And some people even claim that when they were a child, they knew it was true. They could feel it was true. I'm not sure I ever had that. As a child, I always felt a bit disconnected from everything. And it was only through the practice of magic that I was able to regain a sense of that underlying unity behind everything, where the real magic happens. And then in the grade of Theoricus, that is the grade of air, we move into the world of Yetzirah, the world of formation, the world of form. And as this video is called Form versus Substance, there's something very important about formation, okay, and substance. Form and substance are not the same thing. And in the, I'm going to say this, just take it at face value for now. In the unenlightened mindset, form is higher than substance. Substance is considered sort of, material, ugly, so material existence, and it's just stuff, right? Matter. And then what happens is form gets imposed upon matter, it makes things out of it. And then the form is some kind of pure abstraction that is wonderful and nice, okay? What we discover in the tantric and the non-dual traditions, or in the hermetic traditions, if you're lucky, is that this is actually reversed. Form is actually of a higher level than I'm sorry, substance is actually of a higher level than form. And I'm hoping to convey that to you during this video. Okay, that was the main reason I did the last one about the four worlds. And so when we reach the practicus grade, then that corresponds to the world of Beriah, the world of creation. And the world of creation is where form comes from. Okay, it is not the world of form necessarily, it is where form comes from. Okay. And so since it is the place from which form emerges, it is the true substance of reality. Just the substance of reality, and from the substance emerges various forms. Okay. And then the highest world is the world of pure potentiality, and this cannot really necessarily be visualized, but it can be felt as seeds of potentiality that sort of exist behind everything. And to visualize this, we simply superimpose the tree of life diagram over the body, which is to say that the entire universe is being projected upon our body and manifesting within this body. Okay, and it manifests within the aura, let's say, of the Briatic body, and then and of course begins to crystallize or form. It turns into the physical form in the Yetzirah. I'm going to go backwards here. Okay, so we have the seeds of potentiality, which are not really there yet, but they want to be born, right? And so they come down into Beriah, in this sort of womb, and through this womb of Beriah, they emerge as form. Okay, and this is you emerging as your physical form then. Okay, and so the world of form, though, is not necessarily material yet. It is actually just an illusion, a sort of a perceived entity that is perceived to be separate from everything else. Okay, that is not actually real. Nothing is truly separate from everything else. Okay, so the world of form is sort of a world of illusion, a world of deception. Okay, and it's a world that the nervous system creates. We've evolved into the state of being able to perceive various things, and this is the nervous system superimposing form upon substance. Okay, and then of course we have the physical body crystallizing somehow out of that. Okay, which is not really contained, self-contained, and isolated the way we think it is. Just take a physical body and put it on the surface of Mars and watch it die. Watch it die very quickly, because it is completely dependent upon the conditions that are on this planet. In other words, it has emerged from the substance of this planet and is dependent upon the conditions of this planet to survive, and it would very quickly cease to be this entity or thing, right? It would very, very quickly die and just return to mush or whatever, and just be inert. Okay, let's go back to this world. Okay, so we have this listing of the four worlds, Asiya being the lowest and Atziluth being the highest. Okay, so what you can see then is that there's pure potentiality in Atziluth, and Atziluth experiences a division in itself, light and darkness. Okay, and this is this is God basically separating out from himself so that he can experience him in a space where he is not. Okay, so in that realm of empty space that he creates within himself, um, that is Beriah. That's the womb of creation. And from that womb of creation, this dark abyss, let's say, right, then form can then emerge within it. And of course, form then is the world of formation. That's Yetzirah. So whatever emerges within that womb of creation is Yetziratic. It is now being born of that womb inside the womb. And then it eventually crystallizes into the physical world, into Asiya. Okay, but you can experience these forces as you're walking down the street, all of them at once. The pure potentiality, the womb-like substance from which form emerges, and then the physical manifestation, which is what your physical senses are reacting to. And so the world begins to be experienced as though it's like one big relief sculpture. Okay, so you might want to see the highest world of Atziluth as pure non-duality. There's no distinction. There are no objects within it. Of course, there are no forms. There's no substance really, because we haven't separated substance from potentiality yet. And so what happens is that in the highest level of creation, let's say, the pure potentiality separates out from itself and produces this empty space where substance is now there. And of course, some kind of potentiality is there now present to act upon that substance and produce form out of it. This is like a proto-substance. It's not matter per se. It's more like a proto-substance. And then it's like when you're in a dream world, when you're having a dream at night, the stuff that the dream world is made out of is really that the substance of the dream world is Briatic, but the interaction of forms within that dream is Yetziratic. So both the worlds exist together. Okay, both the world of Bria and Yetzirah exist together in your dream world. Okay, and so and this mysterious empty space where forms can emerge is what we know in Kabbalah as Da'ath, the world of knowledge, which is the shadowy 11th sphere of the tree of life. Da'ath is really, just the abyss where the space opened up and that womb was created. And it can be a frightening place because it's a place of separation where things can now emerge as separate objects and then feel like they are just, when we emerge as a separate object in the world, we are orphaned. We've washed up on the beach and we don't know who or what we are. We have emerged in this form. What am I? And who? I must have been kicked out of heaven or something like that. And I've fallen here and now I don't know what to do. I don't have the original knowledge of where I came from or what I am. Okay, and that can happen in the Yetziratic world already. And of course, we are supposedly down in the Asiya, in the world of action. Okay, so if you want to experience all four worlds as you're walking down the street, you can kind of tune into these things all at once. First of all, you know that everything is one, and that the separation between things is sort of imagined as the potentiality of God withdrew from this empty space within himself, right? And within that empty space, then these forms began to emerge. Okay, the empty space is really a type of substance, and the potentiality begins to exert itself. Okay, in fact, we can look at the tree of life here, and those two spheroth, the one to the left of this guy's head, there, that is Hakma. It's the one to your right, the one to his left, okay? And the one to his right is Bina. And Hakma is basically the sphere of where emerging potentiality. So what has happened at the highest level of the tree, that sphere that's over the guy's head there, it has divided from itself. It has opened up a space within itself, which is Dath, which is right at that person's neck, okay? And the space of Dath consists of the separation between pure potentiality and actuality. In other words, and there's potentiality and then there's substance. So Hakma is the potentiality that's emerging now, and the Bina is the substance in which that potentiality emerges. It's like a proto-substance, maybe like an astral substance. We can call it the astral light, actually. Uh, Many people would say the astral light doesn't exist on that level, and in a sense they'd be correct, because the astral world is more a world of formation. So as Hakma begins to exert its potentialities upon the substance or the proto-substance of Bina, then various forms begin to emerge within that proto-substance, so dream forms. And this is the world of Yetzirah, which is all the spheroth down below that. The world of Yetzirah now begins. So any place where you have interacting forms, where they can now look at each other and have a drama and things like that, this is the world of dreams. This is the world of Yetzirah. And you have to remember, the world of Yetzirah consists of the world of Atziluth exerting itself upon Beriah. The pure potentiality is exerting itself upon that proto-substance of Beriah, and then the forms begin to emerge in Yetzirah. If there are no separate forms that are interacting, then there is no Yetzirah. Okay, so these are all things, they're all happening all at once. So if you're having a dream, the substance of everything you're looking at is Bina, you could say, and that's the Briatic world. And the Atziluthic world is the pure potentiality that is exerting itself to do something with that substance, to make it emerge in these various forms. And of course, in the world of Yetzirah, these forms emerge. And they emerge in a very phallic sort of way, too. They stand forth from the background. Okay, and this is the power of Hakma, which is phallic. Remember, the Bina is the womb, and Hakma is the phallus. And so this action of potentiality pushing up upon the proto-substance then causes the form to emerge in a sort of phallic sort of way. I should show a picture of the tetragrammaton. That would make it even clearer, but anyway. And so what we have then is this experience of the world that is simply pure potentiality exerting itself upon the proto-substance, whatever that is. And then, of course, then these various forms begin to emerge. Okay? As you walk down the street and your mind is creating separate objects out of all of this proto-substance, oh, that's a tree. Oh, that's a car. Oh, that's a person. Oh, that's a dog. That's a fire hydrant. That's not really what's out there. But this is all proto-substance that is being sort of packaged by your nervous system to be whatever it is, right? And of course, a dog looking at a fire hydrant doesn't see a fire hydrant. Okay, so so in other words, the form-making element of your consciousness is not real. It's only real as a form maker. And this is the world of Yetzirah, constantly in action around us, okay? And eventually that causes more drama to emerge in the realm of Asiya. Okay, and Asiya is the world of action, where we can get really confused and no longer see the higher worlds in operation. And our job in Asiya is to recover the ability to see all four worlds acting at once, from all the way from pure potentiality to proto-substance to form, and then to actualized physical substance or physical action. There really is no such thing as physical substance. There's only proto-substance, okay? And the Kabbalists knew that. The lowest world is not the world of matter per se, it is the world of action. And matter consists only of action, or the vibration of that proto-substance. Okay, so, and of course in physics we know this to be true now, like everything is in vibration, and physical substance is only something that we have, we are that we are experiencing because of the ability to create various forms out of it. Yeah, yeah. So in fact, no matter where you're looking, you are in a dream world, pretty much. Okay. However, it is possible to go all the way to the very source of creation. Um, you can your consciousness can proceed deeper and deeper and deeper, even beyond the womb of creation, into Absolute itself, where there's nothing but pure potentiality. That can be experienced. And then, of course, the body will eventually draw the consciousness back down into Asiya. But what you bring back with you is the ability to recognize all of these levels of activity happening at once, and even the ability to begin to play along with those manifesting potentialities, and to act as a sort of gardener to sort of encourage different potentialities to emerge. The ones that you want, let's say. They have to be already emergent to begin with in order for you to do magic with them. But yes, you can act as a magician and then rightly conjure those forces into existence. The interesting thing is that, let's see, at the level of, at the level of Yetzirah, here you have emerged as a form, so this is your dream body, okay? And then the dream body can sort of turn around and look at the dream substance that's all around it, and on the level of Yetzirah can actively stir that proto-substance. And this is what we do in ritual. You stir the proto-substance to basically show you its potentialities. It can ripen the cosmic seeds of karma, and they'll come forth faster. And so when you do the LBRP and things like that, you're apparently you are ripening your karma faster. These things are now coming forth more quickly. And if you are able to process them and make meaning out of them, let's say in the pages of your journal, you can head them off before they become harsh external physical reality. You can head them off in the dream world before they become harsh conditions in the external world. That's one of the main aspects of magic that is terribly overlooked. People just do magic to get what they want. uh, and I think one of the most important aspects of magic is that you can keep the uh, the confrontations and karmic, the potential dualistic problems that are emerging as potentialities. You can resolve these on the level of the dream world before they manifest in the supposed material world. And then it looks like you're leading a charmed life and conjuring things to get what you want. Yeah, which is also possible. But remember, the magician, because he works in the realm of Yetzirah, can actually see the proto-substance of Bria and stir it, like with a magic wand, and conjure things forth from it. If he's skillful at doing that, he can also conjure forth horrors and difficult things if he's not ready to deal with the karmic repercussions. All right. This was a pretty deep video, I can tell. Okay, so yeah, I kind of wanted to convey that sensation of being able to walk down the street and experience uh, the entire world as a sort of relief sculpture. Everything is made of the same proto-substance, emerging in different forms. No matter what element you think you're looking at, like oh, that's helium, or that's oxygen, or that's silicon, or that they're all proto-substance that have passed through the realm of Yetzirah, where forms are emerging, and then getting very intricately tangled up, into uh, together into a world of confusion, massa confusa, that the alchemists call the massive confusion or the prima materia. And as we emerge in the physical plane in this massive confusion, we have to recover the ability to see that proto-substance again and the pure potentiality behind it. And so the magician mainly operates in the realm of Yetzirah, where he can still see, or at least know, that every form he sees is made of the same proto-substance, or the astral light. And behind that is the pure potentiality that's trying to actualize. And then he can start to work with that potentiality that's trying to emerge within the proto-substance, which will eventually crystallize down into physical manifestation, or not. So there's things that are trying to come out that are kind of horrific, which he can prevent from having to emerge fully because he can process them on the level of the dream world of Yetzirah. Okay. As usual, I'm afraid that's not going to make much sense. Um, it's probably true that people should have been following my videos for some time in order for some of this to make sense. Or at least if you've been doing consultations with me or been doing the Kabbalah Magic curriculum work, these things begin to make sense. And you can then walk around in the world experiencing all four levels of manifestation at once. All right, well, until next time.